Well, what about that tattoo on your chest? Doesn't it say die, Bart, die?
No, that's German for the Bart, the.
Hello again and welcome to my JavaScript series. Today's video is another video on JavaScript strings. In this video I will be talking about string methods. So let's get started. Here is the string we'll be talking about, and what I want to discuss with you is the concept of string positions. Each character in a string has a position, and they start on the left hand side from 0, but you can also begin counting from the right hand side also. So the final character here, E, would have position -1, I would have position -2, D -3, and so on and so forth. So as I said, our string of the day is die, Bart, die, and the variable here defined as let res will hold our result from each of the steps I'll be taking you through. So to begin with, a common property is the length property, which returns to you the length of a string. So if we run this, we get a value of 12, which is telling us that the string, including the space characters, is 12 characters long. Okay, so let's move on to how would you search for a string within a string. Now all of these methods return a new string, they do not modify the original string. So if we were looking for the character E, let's remove this final parameter. Or we wanted to search for a set of characters, so a word, we could also type that in, but we're going to search for the character E. And if we run this, it returns the value of 2, which is the index 2. If we search for something that didn't exist, such as Z, it would return a -1, meaning does not exist. Okay, let's search for RT. So it starts at the RT, which it tells us that it is found at starting index 6. Similarly, we have a method called last index of, which will search for the last occurrence of a string that you are searching for. So in this instance, we search for the word die. It should return the final position of the final die, which here is 9. One more thing I should also describe to you here is that the first two methods also take a second parameter, and that is the start position at which to begin searching. So for example, if we were looking for the string IE, it would return 1 because the first character is found at IE. But what if we wanted to search for the second IE? Let's say we began searching at character position 8, it would return 10 because that is where it begins. Okay, so moving on, string search takes only one parameter, but the plus side of this, it does not take a start position, but the plus side of this is that it can also accept regular expressions. So for example, here we see again we're looking for the word die, and it returns a 0. It is of course case sensitive, so a die with a capital D won't be recognized in the string and will return a -1. As I said, it accepts regular expressions, so this is how we would define a regular expression, and the I after the second slash makes it case insensitive. Okay, let's move on to extraction. So how would you extract a string from another string? So all of these methods, of course, return a new string. They do not modify the string in place. So to begin with, the slice method will return a character or a character string. It takes two parameters, the start character and a optional second parameter, which is the end string within the end string. So if you were only to enter one parameter, the first parameter, you would get the rest of the string, but here we are saying 0 and 3, so search extract from 0 up until the position 3, and it returns the word die. If we, as I said, if we only used the first parameter, it would start at that position and return the rest of the string. So position 9 would start at position 9 and return the rest of the string. So in this case, the word die, which is from the end of the string. Now we can also specify negative values. So in this instance, we can say something like -8, and it would return Bart die, because the capital B, if you were to reference it from the end of the string, is position -8. Moving on to a substring. Substring does not accept negative values. The first parameter is the start position, and the second parameter is the number of characters that you want to extract. So in this case, we're starting at position 0, and we're saying that we want 5 characters. So we're starting from D, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this should give us a die and then a B. Let's just run that, and there we go, die B. The next method is similar to the previous method. It is called substr. It is a weird name. As I say, this is similar to the previous two methods in that the first parameter is a start position. It can be negative, but the second parameter is a length parameter. So again, similar to substring, you're specifying the number of characters you want to extract. So for example, here we are saying the start number will be a -6. So that would be R. And we're saying that we want 6 characters. So that should return to us the rest of the string. And there we go, RT and then space and then die. Moving on to how do we replace a string within a string. We do that using the replace method. Now, as I say, these return a new string. They do not modify the original string. So for example, if we were to replace the word die with of, it would replace the first occurrence of die. So we would get of Bart die. However, if we wanted to replace all occurrences, we can also use a regular expression. G modifier would do that. So without the G, we would get the same as before, of Bart die. When we add the G modifier, which means global, it replaces all occurrences of the word die with of. So the result here you can see on the left is of Bart of. And the I, as I said previously, makes it case insensitive. So you can see here when I change the second D to begin with a capital D, we still get the same result. Moving on to converting. So these are two very simple methods. The first one is to lowercase, which of course changes everything to lowercase, and the second one is to uppercase, which converts everything to uppercase characters. And finally, joining string characters together. Now there are two ways of doing this. The first is through the plus symbol or adding symbol. So for example, my string plus my string would give us die bot die die bot die. And the second way of doing this is by using the concat method, which is short for concatenation. If we type in my string there, we get exactly the same result. Okay, I think that's all for today. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching.